I'm Anna.
I'm Ben.
We're AutoSave. Welcome to our channel.
Today we're starting a new show, Vinland Saga. Do you know anything about Vinland Saga?
I know the term Vinland.
Yeah.
I believe. From watching docu-series as I'm trying to fall asleep at night. We both tend to like watching historical documentaries, investigations, explorations.
I know the Vinland Sagas were the time period where the Vikings attempted a settlement in North America from leaving Iceland. That like before Christopher Columbus. That's what I know historically.
I'm expecting Vikings,
yeah.
I think, only because of Vinland.
Then we also have my friend Noah, who's been brought up on the channel before. He texted me on April 23rd saying, please, for the love of God, man, free time or on the channel, Vinland Saga changed my life. No bullshit. So that's my extent of knowledge in terms of Vinland Saga.
Life-changing, no bullshit Vikings.
Sounds like something I'd like.
Yeah.
But what if it's just like something right like out of the gate and nothing to do with Vikings too?
That's cool. I mean, because subverting my expectations can be really exciting and a good surprise, especially if it's done well.
Yeah.
The word saga also just has this like weight to it of like this big story that's like gonna go on for a while.
Yeah.
And you're gonna get all of these interesting maybe characters and ups and downs.
It's an exciting feeling going into this first episode versus other shows that we start, because like Arcane, for example, like I didn't know what Arcane meant, you know, but Vinland Saga, there's like a potential that there's some history there, and like we like history, so that'd be cool if there was that connection. Yeah. All right. If this is your first time watching one of our videos, we offer full length for free on the first episode for everybody. Thank you, Blind Wave. We also offer early access up to 2 weeks ahead of time for our releases. If that doesn't interest you, I get that. Who cares anyway, right? Yeah. But without further ado, you ready to start a new show? Vinland Saga, Season 1, Episode 1. Ready?
Yes.
Sweet. Wheat. Whoa. We also keep notes, because we can't remember names. Damn!
That was so cool!
Holy shit. Oh my god!
The movement so far.
I like the camera work. Okay.
Year 987. I mean, even if he's not feeling well and dozed off, he still did a great job.
Okay.
With that declaration, you have to just believe him.
He's just gonna jump ship to ship. Oh my god!
They don't even stand a chance! And a bow and arrow! Oh!
Jesus. I would just lay down your weapon, dude.
Jump in the water. Oh, that's gonna be a nice backdrop to a fight.
Hail.
Hail?
Jesus.
That was so cool.
Unbothered. Holy shit.
Taking his own sword.
Oh.
Look at the bodies.
Yeah.
If that wasn't the most cinematic thing I've ever seen.
Whoa, these shots. They're very cinematic as opposed to just typical anime shots, you know? Over the shoulder.
I think that there's going to be a lot of killing.
I think that based on the first 3 minutes, I don't think I've ever seen an anime that seems more real.
These sweeping angles.
Yeah.
There's something about it that just really makes it immersive.
Great song. I'm so
Well, that
excited.
got better. Even like it was already great, and then the end was even better.
Somewhere not here. Where are we? Are we on
Somewhere
our Earth?
not here.
Iceland.
now
that
we
makes
know.
sense.
Look at him.
Whoa.
Oh. I got chills with that.
I got a sense of adventure.
Seems like he has a sense of adventure.
Yeah. Oh. It's beautiful. Leif Erikson? It's amazing. Yes.
Beyond that, it's just drop off.
It's true. He has physical proof. It's a good line.
He like stepped away a little bit.
An escaped prisoner?
Was that like kind of blood tracks?
Okay. So Ylva, do you think that Ylva's Thorfinn's sister? It reminds me of Link from Wind Waker. Is this a dream?
No, this is real. Worrying is for adults.
So do you think the person that we saw was a slave, not a prisoner?
Maybe. Is it the person and they almost made it to the door?
Yeah.
They almost made it.
Look at his arms.
Look at the detail on his lips.
Yeah. God, the designs are gorgeous.
Just lend it to you.
Damn. He's alive.
Resilient then to still be possibly alive.
He isn't alive.
わしらの先祖は昔はもっと東の地に住んどったノルウェーという名の土地だ。ここらより暖かく海も凍らんたくさんの入り江に守られた
Beautiful.
いい土地だ。ハラルドという強い男が現れた。
Harold. Oh my god, look at that beard.
彼は最初の統一ノルウェー王を名乗る
Jesus.
支配者になった。そして人々に迫った。
おっちゃんはやっぱり嘘つきだ。父上や僕のご先祖様が逃げたりするもんか。おっちゃんのバーカ冒険じじい。
I wonder if that's foreshadowing. My ancestors would never run away.
Yeah. It's more complex than that, you know?
聞いてよ。生き返った。
連れ戻されるのか。ハーフダン様の。
Halfdens.
やっぱり山の向こうから。
でもどこにも行くあてなんか。
通るぜ。来てくれ。ハーフ
Shit.
ダンの港に。また何か難癖つけに来たんだ。あんたじゃないと。
Oh no,
奴
no,
が
no.
奴隷がどうとか言って強引に上陸しやがった。
Are you gonna heart?
間に入ってくれてるが、今にも若衆とおっ始まり
I
そうだ。
trust Leaf.
鎖。人間に似合う唯一の首飾りだ。金でも銀でもねえ。首につないだ鎖だけが人間ってやつを少しはマシにしてくる。そう思わんか。因縁つけてんじゃねえぞ。どうせこないだの剣を蒸し返そうってんだろ。奴らとは何度も揉めてて、こないだ委員会で調停してもらったとこなんです。てめえは見覚えがあるぜ。あの喧嘩でてめえには左腕を切られた。そっちこよくも兄貴の足を切り落として。
How long have they been fighting?
おお、こいや。法律も民会も犬の
The law.
Town assembly.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. I just hate how cool it is. Oh my god!
Oh! Woo! No!
The law is a chain.
Heretic.
Do you see all the hair stuck to it?
Uh-huh. And they're harboring his slave. Oh no.
ここはどこだ。
I am so scared.
こんなに安らかな気持ちは初めてだ。
しっかりしろ。おい、あんた。気を張れ。死ぬぞ。
ドールズ。
親父心配してたんだ。バラバラに売られたから。なぜ俺は。
海の向こうにヴィンランドという名の土地がある。奴隷商人も戦の炎も届かぬ遠い地だ。いつか俺たちと一緒にその地で暮らさないか。
ここはヴィンランドというのか。
返してもらおう。
父上。ハーフダンさん。ですね。かくまったんじゃないんですよ。
この男いくらで買った？
父上、そんなこと聞いちゃ失礼よ。
若いメスだ。
3頭やる。俺が買おう。
Did he not die?
ハーフだ。
Said come with me someday.
そいつは連れて帰る。
Oh, he's big.
ならば4頭だ。
てめえ、ハーフダンさんの言ったことがわからねえの。
だそう。すべて3歳以下のメスでな。
Holy shit.
いい取引だぜ。
It's like the principle of the thing.
それでそいつをどこへ連れて行く？羊はこちらで選ばせてもらうぞ。
Halfdan and Thor's must go way back.
So it was foreshadowing.
That's a man.
It was foreshadowing for Ilva to be like, can we get a slave?
Yeah.
And for the dad to be like, yeah, no.
悲しいわよ羊8頭もしたのに
He died right afterwards.
It was the principle.
He died free.
逃げてここに来たって
そう伝えられている。
じゃあじゃあここからも逃げたい人はどこに行くの
They go with that man. Whoever he is.
Beautiful. Storm's coming. Okay, that was Vinland Saga, season 1, episode 1. I'm in it.
You're in it, you're
Yeah.
immersed.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, everything from like animation, movement, the choices of angle and sweeping angles was all so immersive.
The way the shots are done feels like they respect the weight of the history they're trying to convey through the story. Like it's taking itself like as serious as it should be. And I can feel that.
Yeah, it's like sometimes you just really appreciate watching something and then your mind immediately goes to the process at which these shots and angles were first thought up. Is it maybe a storyboard, but really like that's those pictures, those stills have been like brought to life and like seamless transition throughout them.
Yeah. It's whereas a lot of anime that we have watched in the past or watch currently, like that they have very typical like anime, like I guess like perspectives or point of view, right? And this is a lot more akin to something out of like live action or like somebody went to school for film, you know.
And it is very intriguing to me that this was recommended to us or just texted to us by our Attack on Titan lover friend.
Yeah.
Some of the movement reminded me of ODM gear movement through, or when you see
The initial
Titan
battle.
running. Initial battle mainly was
Yeah.
what I'm going from for that thought. That there was this movement to it and like sweeping around someone's body as it's moving that just encapsulates them in this space, almost makes them 3D.
Yeah. I feel the like feeling of Attack on Titan as like the closest thing I can compare to
I would say closest thing I can compare as
in
well.
like in my anime world, I guess, you know. So we have Thor's, who I am very scared for right off the bat.
Oh yeah. Definitely.
You know,
Doesn't the dad always die?
No, it's not even just the dad. It can take place as in any story, right? You show me this like
Father figure?
this figure of what a true human
True
should
good
be.
values, yes.
Great values, an unbreakable moral compass, willing to do whatever it takes to save and give the best life to the people he cares for.
Even if that person's only gonna live for another like 2 minutes.
Virtuous, strong, like
Dead.
And I am terrified for that to
There
come.
was definitely like foreshadowing throughout this whole episode that we're going to have reason to run away. And
Yeah.
like the last kind of quote at the end of the episode was like, where do we go if we run away from here? And I'm like, well, you're about to find out. That's how it felt.
I hate that running away has such a negative connotation to it, because running away, I think, is arguably synonymous to looking for a better place. And if your motivation to run away is because you don't enjoy the land and the people and the civilization around you,
Your neighbors
yeah,
over the mountain.
I don't necessarily think that that's something that should be looked down upon.
No, but it's really great that we have a childlike character who's just kind of like learning that sort of thing himself, because obviously it lends to the foreshadowing that we are going to run away and he's going to see the merit in it,
Yeah.
and that it's not something to look down upon for someone or to be embarrassed that your ancestors ever
Yeah.
did it.
It was just
Especially
like
we
a
also get
first
the slave
reaction.
example.
Like when hearing that from Leaf, it was almost like he felt like Thorfinn had to be defensive
Yeah,
of
like he
his
felt
lineage.
like defensive. He was like offended on behalf of his, like, mainly his dad as his primary example of what his lineage is. It's like if the people of my ancestors were anything like my dad, then like they are the best people to ever exist.
Yeah. So we had our opening scene and fight and battle in the year 987, correct? And that led presumably to the somewhat semblance of peace we have in the year 1002. It's understandable why the system of like of slave trade and like war that's happening right now, like you've fought and lost so many people to even get to where you are now that like there's a sense of like, okay, I have family here, I need to be able to keep things like steady here, you know, I can't cause too much of a...
There's also the negative side of it, which is like Halfdan, that's his name, right? Halfdan? Yeah.
Halfdan. Yeah.
His are probably more trophy-like to him. And more like, oh, the more slaves I have under my belt from other places, the bigger I look to others.
Yeah.
There's a commanding presence to him. It doesn't seem to be anywhere focused on like, oh, it helps my family to have more hands around to help out.
Yeah. Like, what, like from Ylva's perspective?
Yeah, her perspective was like, obviously, we can guess that this family wouldn't treat their slaves horribly. I think. Thor's family, but we also know that Thor's would never have a slave. But it is interesting that Ylva's like, mom's frail, and so like I'm having to help you with this work. It'd be so great if there was someone else here to help out.
I think Ylva comes from like a good place that was raised within this culture. I think Thor's wants better than what
he
is...
literally wants to surpass. He
Yeah.
wants a place and a land where there's no slave trader.
We shouldn't be doing what the best option is here. We should be striving for what's best in any regard.
Yeah, I mean, you brought up his like ironclad moral compass.
And I got like a little bit of like vibe like of the history that Halfdan and Thor's must have gone through, because Halfdan, like, the way that everybody else in that room was talking, they didn't know the shit that Halfdan and Thor's did. Like, it felt like Halfdan knew how powerful and how strong and what the will of Thor's would be, you know?
And I mean, like, Thor standing up just immediately, like, commanded the space. Like, he's taller than all of them, intimidating, but also, like, there's something really intimidating about how, like, confident and also like virtuous he comes off. It's almost like it exuded from him, especially in that scene.
Fighting was his would be his last
resort.
Yeah, last resort.
And like, probably only to protect his family and the people that are living in this little village that he is living in.
Yeah.
There's definitely, it's interesting that the tones and the types of people are seemingly different that live with around Thor's family and then live around Halfdan's family.
Yeah.
Definitely
different
seems
sides
like
of a mountain.
they might align more toward whoever is there. I don't think Thor's is like the leader, but he's definitely like the person that everyone around them looks up to.
Yeah. Up there with Leaf.
Leaf is Leaf is a bard of sorts.
I love Leaf. Leaf's a good character. I'm really interested in seeing what they end up doing with Ylva. Ylva, because it seems like to me like this show is going to have many different shades of gray in terms of morality, and I think that Ylva could potentially be more gray than what Thorfinn is going to grow up to be. Like, I think that Ylva starting out where she is going to be probably less like her father's disposition than somebody like a character like Thorfinn might be.
I mean, it could go with the namesake thing. It could go with the passed down Thor
Yeah.
in the name that would make it so that, you could easily maybe theorize that Thorfinn is going to grow into a man that is very much like Thor's. I don't feel or have good positive feelings that bode well for Thorfinn's whole family existing for very long.
Yeah.
The mother's frail. They obviously live in a very cold, harsh environment, so that probably doesn't help anything.
Yeah.
Ylva seems a little bit, I don't know, like, I would love to see more of her, but I also don't have good feelings that she would exist longer. And then Thor's, I feel like it's going to be a big moment that he's gonna die.
Yeah. I can almost imagine like a get out of here, I'll hold
and
them
just
off.
like Leaf and Thorfinn, maybe like a few other people. I don't know.
Hopefully set sail with that old ship that they have.
Oh yeah, and we get that foreshadowing of the ship.
Yeah. We had a
sorry.
Go on.
You're earlier on in the episode, so we should go.
Gotcha. I like Leaf had a line about the sailors fighting against the sea, and like that. There's something.
Oh, I wrote that down too.
Yeah, there's something so exciting about like the respect of adventure and like weight of traveling on the sea, like already in episode 1, that makes me feel like some shows, live action or anime, are just like, oh yeah, let me go over there, gotta hop on a ship, and I'll be there in a second. It's a way of life, and it's hard earned, and it's life or death every day when you're out at sea, especially during this time. Yeah.
You're fighting natural forces. You're fighting a giant body of water that also has like creatures in it that are probably going to eat you if you fall overboard, like sharks.
Yeah, and you can't control it. You have to learn how to fight against it, or even like go with it.
Fight with it.
Yeah.
Like use it to your advantage even.
Yeah, and I really like the establishing fact of that and tone of that, because it makes me excited for the future of if they do set sail anytime soon.
Because what it does is it sets up this this concept to these kids where they might have thought that the only respectable fight that you can fight is against another person.
Yeah.
And what Leaf is giving them here is telling them that like there's a lot of like things that can be respected and ways to fight and careers you could have and even a sense of adventure, and not just being like a warrior or soldier could actually be really like well respected.
But I love the fact that how cool is it that in Thorfinn's life, he even thinks of Leaf as something akin to a fool. And of course he would, because he hasn't seen Leaf in the environment that a warrior would thrive in, right?
He's being told these big stories.
Where his father, it's very easy to see how strong and powerful and how, important his role can be as somebody like a warrior, and how like physically, like, he's massive. But Leaf in his own right is probably extremely capable in his own, like, field.
Right. And like, we don't get this introduction of someone that's from really another place until we get the slave entering the story and entering their home later on. Like, this is a person that was taken from another place. And it seems like to Thorfinn, it's like these stories of these other places that he's getting, all from Leaf, are just like too grand, too imaginative, like, I've never seen it. I no one else is like, I've never met anyone from there.
Yeah.
Things like that.
Do you think that we are going to be leaving because of some type of upcoming war, or because of something like weather, because it's getting colder as the seasons progress? And
I have a theory. And it has to do and relate with a moment that is right after the Leaf scene with the children. And that is when Ylva brings in the 2 sheep.
Yeah.
And we know that how do you pronounce it?
Hofton
decided he was going to pick them for himself. And he's picking 8. And what if he blames Thor's for giving him 2 sick sheep?
That's
Ah.
a really that wouldn't be good.
No, you could see that being offensive to him, right?
But you picked them, kind of thing. Yeah.
Exactly. But to this type of person, like the honor and the pride and the ego, I could see him like using this as a chance, or maybe even the people around him.
Yeah.
Like the underlings around him seem to be like, let's get into a fight. You know, they seemed much more to come to his defense more than he seemed to like weigh his options, you know, and was more calculated.
That's
but the people around him were more like, let's jump into a fight. I want to defend your honor because you're scary with chains and badass and I respect you. So I am worried that we know, because we get the foreshadowing, that there were 2 sick animals. And we know that 8 of the animals are being taken and he was picking them for himself. We weren't choosing. So can he tell that they were sick if he's not caring for them every single day?
Yeah.
Sometimes you don't know if an animal's sick unless you watch their eating habits. They're not eating enough. You know, maybe since Ylva spends every day with them, she's aware in a way other than what they visually look like in appearance that they are sick.
She could even react like, oh yeah, he picked the bad ones. She
might think it's funny or something, but I could see that actually being a reason to have a fight.
Then it would be Halfton's like he would be weighing the options of, would this be enough to start something bigger, you know, against somebody like Thor's. Like would it be worth the lives lost? Not that it seems like Halfton really cares too much, but
well, I mean, I don't know if it would have to be him or maybe the people that live around him that seem to be very defensive of him.
Well, both
sides. It could be that we need to come and those 2 sheep died, and so we're going to come and take 2 more. Because you said you'd give us 8, and 2 of them died.
Yeah.
So we're going to come try to take 2 more.
But
and that could lead to altercation and fight. It just...
I'd be worried that the altercation and fight would occur before Thor's would have a chance to like settle things, because like if they came
we get an example of him settling it with words.
Yeah, and if they came right to Thor's doorstep, then he would probably give a lot to save as many people as possible.
What if they just immediately go to try to take,
and then,
you know, without asking?
And then people who are part of the village who had a brother who lost a leg,
someone
will step
steps
up
in
and
it's like, you can't just take his... Exactly.
No pun intended, because they can't step because they didn't have a leg. But yes, I could see that being the motive to leave, but we also got the pre-establishing fact of someday we might get a winter so cold that nobody survives, you know?
Yeah, but is that just some poetic way to say like a winter so cold, as in like unforgiving people, and it's more of like a literary poetic way to say a war is coming, or an unforgiving time is coming.
I don't think so.
Time is coming.
I think it would be like just another reason to tack on to like, oh, we need to leave anyway.
We're gonna leave because our next door neighbors suck and it's cold.
And it seems like Leaf's brother is also leaving from a different land, and that could be somebody who we're able to like meet up with later down the line. So
then I had another theory of what would be the reason.
Yeah.
And it's at the very end of the episode, so either I can talk about
it
now,
go for it.
So we get this shot at the very end when like Ylva's like, Dad, you suck, you're stupid. That kind of scene.
Yeah.
And we get the shot of this guy in a boat, and he seems like he is strong, and I think he has a scar across his face. And I thought to myself at first, ooh, that's the guy you want to go with. We're going to travel with him someday. But then I started thinking about it, because the line at the same time that scene was being shown was, where do we run when we run from here?
Yeah.
And we get the shot of a guy with a lot of warriors, soldiers in his boat, and we don't know where they're heading. Is this a foreshadowing of a person we're going to meet, or is this a person that's coming here?
Did we run away here? Leaf told me that our ancestors fled here from the east. And then he said that they ran away and came here. And then it goes into the shot I believe you're talking about of Ven. And we see this massive Viking ship. With the dude with the big scar,
and where does everyone who wants to run away from here go? So that was like, is this a person that you run away with and he's a good guy? Is he currently running away and going to explore new areas? Or is he coming here and we have to run from here because this guy's coming here.
Yeah. He somewhat resembles, in a weird way, the first king of Norway in his facial structure.
That and even the way that he's presenting
but
himself.
It could also be, Leaf's brother or something. And maybe it's like we had the note earlier that he was leaving and getting ready to set sail somewhere.
Yeah, I think it's just even that all of the people in the boat, in the ship, are all dressed the same.
Yeah.
There is a scary energy. This is not just you gather the villagers around you.
Yeah.
This is like a very serious and structured army.
Yeah.
And that is scary because that's not adventurers traveling and running. That's not people running away.
Yeah.
Because people that are running away are grabbing whatever they can, getting in a boat and going, and some of them are probably going to die on the way.
And if it is somebody who resembles the first king of Norway, who we were told took Norway as his own, and then the last shot we get is something that looks like a sword in a sheath.
We tried to get as far away from him as possible.
Yeah, it could be that catching up to us, so we feel like we have to take a further voyage.
I mean, that would be foreshadowing when we get the lines about why are we here so far up where it's cold. Well, it's to get away from him.
Yeah, I'm excited to see a couple things. Like I'm super excited to see where Thorfinn goes as a character because I'm imagining he's a protagonist, right? But the character of Halfdan especially, like if we do like leave here in the next episode or two and go elsewhere, go to Vinland and try to, establish some sort of settlement there. I wonder what they do with Halfdan's character, because I don't like him on one hand, but like the way that they animated and he used the chains.
Oh, I would want him on my side purely, for fighting.
But not even on my side, like just him as a character in the story.
Against me.
Yeah, but I like want to see him use I don't know. I want to see battle more in this world.
With
that
the
first
chains
opening scene was so cool. So yeah, with the chains, but
God,
he's
what
fucked
did
up
that
too.
to that guy's face?
Fuck that.
Can't even. But it's really interesting. The gray, we were talking about like the morality.
Yeah.
He did that because the guy wasn't abiding by law. So I'm like,
the law is a chain.
Okay.
Yep.
But also like vicious. Oh, there was a part at the beginning that I wanted to bring up before we like ended. I don't know how much more you have to talk about.
I have one other thing. Who do you think the person is that's next to Thor's in the beginning shot that is bigger than him seemingly, and we haven't,
I can't believe there's someone bigger than him.
Right? It's not Leaf, unless Leaf like was taking a bunch of steroids and this is him without it. But
weird. Okay, yeah, we don't get that person, and so that's what 5 years is 5 years in the past from what we get as the main setting of this episode.
Yeah, interesting, right?
He could have died in this battle, but I mean, he was pretty badass, so I'd be surprised by that.
Yeah. So my last thing is in the beginning when we had the entire fight sequence, right? Mm-hmm. Right at the very beginning of the episode, we had Thor's in a similar type of vision or memory as the slave was when he was on death's door. It seemed like this vision was in Vinland. Do you think Thor's has been to Vinland himself, or like was he there with Leaf, or has he never been there?
I like the idea more that it is a fantasy place that you go to for safety and security in your own mind, that dream place, that ultimate goal place that you envision.
A Valhalla, like like a Garden of Eden type of thing.
And that's why he envisions his wife there holding what I assume is Thorfinn as a baby, waving to him.
Yeah, or maybe even Ylva, right?
Well, Ylva doesn't have a baby.
Well, no, I meant like she could be the baby that Helga's holding.
Oh, see, I figured because it was the year 987 and it was a dream he was having during the battle in 987 that it was Thorfinn, the baby.
Gotcha. That makes sense. All right, well, I'm excited to continue with the series. Do you have anything else?
Yeah, I have one last thing. It was my favorite shot in the whole episode. It was kind of a scene, I guess. It wasn't a shot. And it obviously was during the battle because that was amazing. Yeah. That whole thing. Like, I don't love blood and fighting and gore. Yeah. But I can appreciate the movement and the choreography of a fight. And so, first little anecdotal joke is that we get a line from the friend of Thor's that he is very nimble, which I think is funny now that later in the episode we see how giant he is.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how is this guy so nimble? Okay, so you're actually on the scene. You're kind of like moving through. So the scene that I'm talking about is the hail starts to fall. And I'm like, yes, setting the scene, setting the tone. This is awesome. We're going to fight in like a lightning storm. And then the hail falls. And I'm like, hail, interesting. And as soon as you see that it's hail, you see that there's a sword run through the guy that Thor's is fighting.
Uh-huh.
And this guy says out loud, Maria, sorry.
Yeah.
And that takes like Thor's out of it for a second to the fact that he gets hit with an arrow.
Yeah.
And so that's what I think is great evidence to show you like Thor's doesn't love maybe killing people. He's thinking about his own wife and not wanting to leave her.
Yeah.
And how sorry he'd be if he couldn't come home to her.
It's that complexity of war that's like each person here has like a lot of people here probably have a very real reason to try to fight in this war to find peace, but there are so many different, complexities to war that it doesn't seem to be as simple as like, okay, well, let's just all be peaceful and not kill each other.
They're probably just a bunch of different groups of people who are all trying to have resources for themselves in order to sustain their families and their loved ones. So yeah, that was my favorite because I think that it was a great first example of like who, out of all of the scene of Thor's fighting, it was probably one of the best examples of where like how his heart is, and it made it so easy to understand him like during the actual like rest of the episode. When Thorfinn's involved, the slave, everything made perfect sense to me for Thor's character. Yeah. After getting that scene with the person that he killed.
I thought that the person that he killed after the Maria incident, like it seemed like that person like put up a little bit more of a fight than the others, and then the idea of like we watched as his sword, the other guy's sword that Thor's used to impale him with, like fell to the bottom of the sea. I was like,
way to start. That was awesome.
Like, hell yeah. I don't know. I wonder if Thor's buddies in battle survived.
It is interesting that he lone footprints walking away, and that he walks away alone. It does make you think that he is the only survivor from that battle, which is similar to like Leaf in the episode is the only survivor to one of his explorations.
From his 6 companions who died?
Yeah, and it was, I believe, his first time sailing a ship himself, and he didn't really calculate what ice can do beforehand.
I'm excited.
I'm really excited.
It feels like we're going to have a lot to talk about.
Yeah, and that makes me excited. I like to talk, so.
All right, well, thank you guys so much for watching this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and we hope to see you next time.